Guess I better wait to see if anyone actually turns up.
Yeah, I've got a notification.
Okay. Do you want to see if you're getting in how the sound is? So, yeah, just check that it's coming through okay. Yeah. Cool. Right, ready? Okay, hey there everyone. I'm just testing out the audio setup and the live system on YouTube today. So just going to give people a bit more time, see if other people want to join in. Yeah, we're going to talk through exactly all of the bits and pieces that we're going to need for this cook along next week. It's been great seeing the amount of enthusiasm around it. So yeah, hopefully we'll get lots of people joining in, cooking some fantastic ribs, and yeah, we hopefully give you something different to do on a Sunday whilst we're all in this second lockdown period. So there is feel free to use the chat, the comment section. If you've got any questions that you want to ask us, we can go through that as well whilst we're waiting. And yes, it is barbecue and barn time, so beers are always a vital part of this. Okay. Okay. So, I mean, we're gonna post this up on YouTube as well. So, if you haven't been able to join for whatever reason, didn't see the notifications or anything like that, they'll be able to. But what I wanted to do today is kind of talk through all of the different ingredients that we're going to use in cooking these ribs. So, starting off, we've got our packs here of these Swift premium ribs, spare ribs. These are the same things that we use in competition. These are an American pork rib. I know some people will give me grief about it, but they do just come out a lot juicier, and they're a nice consistent thickness, and there is very minimal trimming that's going to go on with these. So, first of all, got to start off with some good ribs. You can use our ribs, but the timings will be probably a little bit different. But we're going to be using these St. Louis style pork spare ribs. So a lot of that trimming work's already done. We're then only going to use some of our favorite Blues Hog original barbecue sauce. You can buy much smaller bottles, but we use a lot of this stuff. And the rub that we're going to use is going to be the Big Papa Smokers Money Rub. So those are going to be the core bits of what you're going to need if you're wanting to follow on with the exact same recipe that we're going to cook. Some of the other things that you're going to need is going to be some soft brown sugar, so light brown sugar. You're also going to need a bit of apple juice, and you're also going to need a bit of butter. Okay, so these we're going to use to really help build up some sweetness and richness into the ribs, make them really tender and delicious. So, the Money Rub has got, quite some big flavors in it. We're just going to balance those out with the sugar, the butter, and a bit of apple juice. Other things that you're going to need for this cook along. So it's quite useful. It's Christmas time, so you can actually get extra strong tin foil. The normal stuff that you probably already have in your kitchen isn't going to be up to the job. Get yourself a roll of this. I mean, this one's only 300 mil wide. We normally, it's got the longer ones, like 450 mil wide. That's what we'll be using. But at least you can actually get this in the supermarket pretty easy. The thing you're going to need is also knives. So, for a lot of the trimming work, I'll do everything just with a 6-inch boning knife. But I also understand that a lot of people don't have the same collection or variation of knives that I've got. So hopefully everyone has got a decent chef's knife. So this is just a standard 20 centimeter chef's knife, and then a paring knife. With those two, it's going to be a bit more fiddly than if we were just using a big boning knife, but with these two, we can do exactly the same. Hopefully, everybody should have that kind of equipment in their kitchen. The other thing we're going to need is a brush. We're going to need a brush here, just for adding the glaze onto our ribs. I like to use the silicone ones, but if you've got an old pastry one with the hairs, you can still use that. It'll be okay. Other things that we're going to need. So, if you're cooking hot and fast or low and slow, and you're cooking on the barbecue, that's great. But also, if you are going to be cooking them in an oven, what you're going to need is a roasting tray, and you're also going to need the rack or a rack, something to keep the ribs off the bottom of the tray. Otherwise, the bottoms will just take on a bit too much heat. You want that, something lifting it off the bottom. Something that we do when we're cooking in a roasting tray is we just line with a piece of foil. It just makes it cleaning it all up a lot easier. And whoever's doing the dishes that night will thank you for doing so. Other things that we're going to use, so yes, we do use gloves. We do use gloves. We do also use some little thin. These are basically just standard winter gloves. These will, basically then put cheap vinyl gloves over the top. I mean, I can handle the meat. If you don't have gloves, don't worry. You can just use tongs or other things that you've in the kitchen ready to help with that later on. So these are going to be the main items. There is going to be a couple of different timelines that we're going to be following. So, now that we've done, we're going to be doing a traditional like low and slow rib cook. And then we're going to be doing a hot and fast rib cook or, an oven baked rib cook. So the oven baked ribs are going to follow a very similar timeline to what we're going to use for the hot and fast ribs. But basically next Sunday on the 22nd, we are going to go live starting off at 10:50. I'll probably look at setting up some kind of events or, whether it be on Facebook or whatever, just so people can join and get as well as the reminders that you'll get on YouTube. That's why we're telling people to make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications button so you'll be able to see when we are live. People can hot and fast. Basically we're going to start at 10:50. We're going to give like 10 minutes for people to actually arrive and ask any questions they might have. And then at 11 o'clock we're going to start trimming the ribs. We'll get them out of the packet and we'll rub them down. And then 12 o'clock, we'll be looking to put the ribs on the cooker. That's going to be the same for the low and slow guys as well. So we'll be putting the ribs on at exactly the same time. So, everyone's going to be on at the same time. And then, basically for the low and slow guys, you can just sit back, relax. You've got nearly 3 hours between when we then need to do the next step. So, you can put that to one side. The hot and fast guys, we're going to be doing some other bits and, things like that. Same with the oven bake guys. So we're looking at 2 different finishing times for these. So if you're cooking the hot and fast ribs or if you're cooking the ribs in the oven, these are going to be, you're basically going to be eating around about 2:30, 3 o'clock. Is my expectation with that. For the people that are going to be cooking low and slow, you are going to be eating at around about 5 o'clock. Okay, is the expectation. So, just give you just so you've got an idea yourselves of kind of, what time things are going to be done. One thing I want to say about these ribs as well. So these ribs do come frozen, which is great. If you've got them already, keep them in your freezer. But just on say Friday night, leave them out on the counter for a couple of hours before you put them in the fridge. Make sure they're nice and defrosted for Sunday, so they're ready to cook. But they don't take a huge amount of time. it doesn't take days to defrost, but leave them out on the side for a couple of hours to get them started, and then put them in the fridge, and they should be good for Sunday. Other than that, I think that's kind of all the information. I think that kind of gives you everything you need to know right now. We are going to. We're not going to cover things like lighting the barbecue. So, if you, depending on what you're cooking on, have it up ready and up to temperature before 11 o'clock on Sunday. If you're cooking on the oven, that's fine. You can just warm it up 15 minutes beforehand and stick them in. But, cooking on barbecues, make sure you get your barbecues hot. For the low and slow guys, we're going to be cooking at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the hot and fast guys, we're going to be cooking at 300 degrees Fahrenheit. So, a few different timelines, temperatures, and things that we're going to cover. So, hopefully, that's useful. And I hope this gives you all the information you need. Also, make sure you bring beer on Sunday. If you're barbecuing, it's kind of a must. And we'll look forward to, basically cooking some ribs next Sunday, and hopefully seeing how well you all get on with it as well. So if there are any questions, leave them in the comments. We will put some posts out later with some a more rigid timeline, and kind of try and set some events so we make sure people don't miss any of these things. And then hopefully that's all going to be good. And we'll see you next week. So, like I said, any questions, hit us in the comments below. And other than that, we will see you next week. Can you hit the end? Is there any questions or? Excellent. Thank you, Jason. I was just seeing if there was any questions before we close it off, but we're going to hit the publish on this. So this will also go into the YouTube channel. So you'll be able to see it there and watch it back later. So everyone loves the beard. So yeah, brilliant. Well, we'll leave it on that, and we will speak to you all soon. Yeah.